Brandy Catrice Pierce, 41 years of age, from Detroit, has been charged with murder, child abuse, tampering with evidence, and concealing a death in regards to the murder of her 9-year-old son, Zemar King, who was found buried in a shallow grave behind their family home in Detroit, January the 6th, 2025. Zemar's hands and feet were both bound. An autopsy revealed that he was choked and smothered to death. 9 years old, believed to have been murdered by his own mother. CPS, Child Protective Services, were aware that Zemar had suffered abuse previously. 10 months prior to his death, CPS were told by Zemar himself that his mother chokes him and wants to kill him. So what the fuck happened? Why was Zemar King left in his psychopathic mother's care? What the fuck happened there? An investigation must be instigated. CPS Detroit owes Zemar's family and the community answers. It's believed that the mother, Brandy Catrice Pierce, killed Zemar in October and buried him in the backyard. Then she fled. She moved to Georgia with her toddler son, who thankfully is now in foster care. The mother has since been extradited to Michigan. She's entered a not guilty plea, but if she is convicted, she faces life without parole. Of course, we do hope that justice is served. What we do know is that her 9-year-old son, Zemar King, was found buried in a shallow grave with his hands and feet bound. An autopsy revealing that he was choked and smothered to death. Was it the mother? Well, the police seem to think so. I don't know exactly how these things work, but presumably there was enough evidence for her to be extradited from Georgia, where she fled to, back to Michigan. So if I was to put money on it, yes, she's guilty, but either way, we hope that justice is served. If she is guilty, 100% lock her in a jail, prison, behind bars for life. Don't give her the opportunity for parole. Of course, full condolences to Zemar's wider family and friends. 9 years of age, he would have had friends. He had a young brother, a toddler. Maybe the toddler was born after Zemar's death, I don't know. Two scumbags, Melody and Adam Greenwood, 38 years of age and 36 years of age, both of Muncie, Indiana, face preliminary charges of child neglect after their 10-year-old son was found to be the victim of alleged abuse and nutritional neglect. He was taken to hospital in late February. Hospital staff described him as being extremely skinny. They also identified that he had scars on his wrist. Those scars were consistent with being restrained. The boy went on to tell police that his mother, Melody Greenwood, tied his wrists behind his back, which of course caused pain and left the marks that the hospital staff identified. It doesn't end there. The boy also reported that he was forced to stand against a wall for 10 to 12 hours, I believe, at a time. 10 to 12 hours forced standing. That is something that does occur fairly regularly in these horrendous child abuse cases. We're told that he was denied snacks and junk food, whilst his siblings, all 7 of them, could do what they wanted. They had fast food, they could watch TV, they could play video games, but the 10-year-old boy was singled out. He had to stand against the wall for 10 to 12 hours, no food, or certainly no junk food, and he had a towel placed over his head. Can you remember those Guantanamo Bay photos? You have a towel or a sack or a cloth covering your face whilst your torturers do whatever the fuck they want. That's what was happening to this poor 10-year-old boy by his own mother and father, allegedly. It gets worse. His siblings were forced, or certainly instructed, to beat him up. Well, that's no good for anybody, certainly not the boy, but also the siblings. There they are, being forced to be complicit with the 10-year-old boy's unfair abuse. The couple, I believe mother and father of the children, claimed that they were homeschooling their children, but it turns out that that was a lie. The older siblings were reading to the younger children, and that's as far as the teaching went. Guess what? The pair of them, Melody and Adam Greenwood, were arrested and they were released on bond. So here they are, believed to be child torturers, having lied to the state about homeschooling whilst they went off to work, and they're released on bond. I don't know, but that fucking seems ridiculous to me. Indiana, sort yourselves out. The article that I read through didn't explicitly state, but I believe and hope that the children, all of the children, are now no longer in the custody of these two fucking weirdos. Let's hope that justice is served. Christopher Blevins, 45 years of age, from New Jersey, has been charged with the murder of his girlfriend, her name Laura Hughes, who was 50 years of age and a mother of two. Laura's body was found wrapped in a sleeping bag, tied with blue ratchet straps, covered with a carpet and a yoga mat, and she was discovered in Belle Plaine State Forest, Cape May, July 24th, 2024. Christopher Blevins allegedly strangled Laura in their Runnymede apartment, then proceeded to stuff her body in a refrigerator, dumped the refrigerator in the forest, and then fled to Mexico on August the 2nd. Thankfully, he was arrested in San Diego, January 13th, 2025, after setting a fire on Ocean Beach. The article that I read through in the Daily Mail didn't provide any details in regards to that fire. We're told that there is plenty of evidence against him, including blue straps, a gun, and more that was found in his apartment. He faces charges of first-degree murder, disturbing and desecrating human remains, and hindering apprehension, meaning he fled. We're told that the couple, Laura and Christopher Blevins, had a history of domestic violence and substance abuse. Not that that, of course, justifies a brutal murder, but does go some way to explain the situation, perhaps. Of course, full condolences to all family and friends of the victim, Laura Hughes, again, a mother of two, 50 years of age, from New Jersey. A 44-year-old convicted paedophile identified only as OS, yes, that's the name that we're presented with, OS. He's been allowed to remain in the United Kingdom after a judge ruled that deporting him would violate his human rights. And of course, as we know, in the United Kingdom, they must protect the human rights of paedophiles. The scumbag in question was convicted in 2009 for a sex attack on a girl who was under the age of 16. This happened in the United States. He served 3 years in prison and then he was deported to Jamaica. After his deportation, the scumbag in question reportedly continued pursuing young girls. He even married a woman that he met when she was only 15 years old. They had a child when she was 24, at which point she moved to the United Kingdom in 2015 without the scumbag in question, but he followed her. He initially didn't disclose his conviction, but he later did admit to it. But what did the UK authorities do at that point? Oh, okay, you were convicted of a sex attack on a girl under the age of 16 in the United States. No worries. Sure, of course you can come into the United Kingdom. That's pretty much the situation as we know it at this point. We don't have all of the details, but we do know he's a convicted paedophile, and the United Kingdom have decided to keep him in the country, perhaps funded by the taxpayer. That would be my guess. Could be wrong. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why? Why the fuck don't you just deport him? He's a convicted paedophile. You don't have to have him in your country. But no, the UK authorities must do the woke thing. Mackenzie Dubuz, 26 years of age, a Haitian migrant, has been charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder in regards to the alleged stabbing killings of 3 members of his own family, 2 of which were children. We're not told their ages. It's believed that he stabbed them with a knife. A bloody knife was found on the scene. This happened on February the 21st in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Police discovered the victims after they were called to the residence via a 911 call. The scumbag in question, again 26-year-old Haitian migrant Mackenzie Dubuz, was arrested at the scene. He was interviewed using ICE interpreter services. For whatever that's worth, seemingly the scumbag can't speak English very well. We're told by the Breitbart article that I've read through that the Haitian migrant entered the United States legally. That's right, he's not an illegal alien. He entered the United States legally in July 2024, less than a year ago. To refresh your memory, that's when Biden was running the US, apparently. And the scumbag entered the United States legally through the Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua and Venezuela parole program. Not quite sure why it's called a parole program. In any case, the article informs us that up to 30,000 individuals from those countries, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua and Venezuela, are legally allowed into the United States. That's right, up to 30,000. They're given financial sponsorship. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but my guess is that they're not particularly well vetted. They do include the mentally ill, the criminal, criminal, the violent, the murderous, and I would also presume, seeing as they can't even speak English, that they're probably not very employable, would be my guess. Meaning they cost your country money, they cost the community the lives of children. Of course, full condolences to the family concerned. Again, we're not told the details of the children. All we know is that a 26-year-old scumbag from Haiti came into the country legally, United States, and subsequently allegedly killed 3 members of his own family, including 2 children. What a fucking scumbag.